Guys, today it's either going to end in greatness or tears because for the first time ever, I decided to sit down and actually attempt proper cornrows on natural 4C hair. And listen, I have watched enough tutorials to think I know what I'm doing, but whether my fingers agree or not, let's see. One thing about me, I love challenging myself with natural hair. And lately, I've been trying to learn styles that make me less dependent on salons. And my vision for today was very clear. I want a big, chunky cornrows, the kind that look soft, bold, and effortless at the same time. Now, before any braiding, I needed to section my hair properly because the moment your line starts zigzagging, stress enters the chart. And honestly, parting your own hair from the back should qualify as a talent because why is this so hard? But eventually we got there. I start by adding some bit of wax on the roots of my hair. And don't be stingy with this because where you being stingy, to be honest. So make sure that you're adding some good amount of the wax at the bottom so that you can have a good grip of the same. Normally I start by combing my hair, but apparently this time I just waxed first and then I did the combing. But anyway, then using this jelly comb, I go and smoothen my hair so that the grip is actually grippable, or rather you can actually hold that hair without a lot of stress. Once the sections were ready, it was finally time to start the first cornrow. And weirdly enough, starting is always the scary part because you're sitting there wondering, will this actually look good or am I wasting my time? Should I just go to the salon? Anyway, but I pushed through. For the cornrow, I started with 3 strands, just like a normal braid. Then slowly, I began feeding in my hair little by little using my thumb. And apparently in the cornrow industry, the thumb is the CEO. You guys never told me this. Because if your thumb doesn't understand the assignments, it's over. And my fingers were moving like confused spiders. But after a few seconds, they were slowly starting to cooperate. Way. One thing about 4C hair or natural hair is that it needs a lot of patience, and patience changes everything. If you rush the process, the braid starts looking messy real fast. But when you take your time, 4C hair or natural hair braids so beautifully. Once you get to the end, you just now braid like a normal braid. And wait, we are actually done with the first braid and it comes looking decent. I'm not even gonna lie. That first successful braid gave me the motivation immediately because suddenly I started feeling like one of those girls on YouTube who casually says controls are actually very easy, guys. Meanwhile, your shoulders are fighting for survival. But anyway, moving into the second control, I started feeling more confident with my hand placement. And one thing I noticed with 4C hair, it humbles you. My main target today is to do just 6 cornrows and hopefully just have a cute final look. And did it come through? Let's wait and see. How you start your braid is very key. Notice how I pick 3 hair strands every single time very clearly before I start going down and then continue feeding in with the thumb. The main reason I genuinely love cornrows is because they are such a good protective hairstyle. They help reduce the manipulation, they help protect your ends, and they keep your hair stretched. And honestly, they make life easier during the week. You can just go about your business without caring your hair will break or not, you know. Plus, they also give that clean, natural girl look that never goes out of style. It's been a style that our parents did, our grandparents did, and it's a style that still rocks up to date. Okay, be honest. How many of you actually know how to control your hair? Because this experience is already teaching me humility. Oh my God, it humbled me. And if you do know how to, please tell me your secrets because my arms were already shaking. And it felt like I was having war with my shoulders and my whole body. But guys, tell me your secrets down on the comment below. And please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And yes, we already done with the second cornrow and it already looks fairly good. How you divide your lines actually matters because like for me, I wanted to do something not entirely plain, just lines that are just going behind that are plain, but I wanted to have a small style in the front. Remember, I hadn't ever done this ever before, so this was my first time trying this. And I think I kind of hacked out on the lines. Let's see. This is a bad cornrow. I decided to do my cornrows, one on the left, the next one on the right, the next one on the left, the next one on the right, so as not to get fully exhausted before I ended this. Now, by the time I reached the third cornrow, the excitement started mixing with the exhaustion because nobody talks enough about how physically demanding your own hair is. Your back hurts, your arms hurt, your fingers start forgetting basic necessities, and somehow your comb disappears every 5 minutes. Oh my God. But every time I looked in the mirror and saw another neat braid forming, I kept going because at this point I was committed. And then came the crown session, the final boss. Because braiding the crown of your own head feels like trying to solve a puzzle upside down. You can't fully see, your hands are tired, and somehow the braids keep drifting sideways. Oh my God, at this point, I genuinely considered giving up. But we are not quitters over here, and honestly, this part taught me something. The more I practice my natural hair, the more confident I become with it. Like imagine being scared of your own hair for years and then one day you're casually learning controls on yourself. Hey, this was a game changer for me. The growth alone made me proud. Let's talk about a few benefits of doing cornrows on your hair. And I'm not trying to sell this out to you. I'm just telling you things that I know for sure, is the fact that this hairstyle is very low maintenance. Once your hair is done, you literally wake up already looking all put together. And I told you guys, it takes no effort at all. And they are also amazing for retaining your length because your ends are tucked away and protected from constant manipulation. And if you're somebody who struggles with detangling every single day, protective styles like this can really help reduce breakage. But tell me why I was trusting the process with tears in my eyes, and the process was not even trusting me. At this point, I was really feeling like giving up. My shoulders were literally filing complaints at this point. If they had a lawyer, trust me. At this point, my fingers were working independently from my brain. I don't think I was even thinking straight as I went on this crown. Damn! going back to the benefits of cornrows, I think also they help me appreciate my natural hair texture more because you can literally see how versatile 4C hair is. And another thing, cornrows save so much time during the week, especially on those lazy days when you don't even want to touch your hair. And honestly, there's something very confident about neat cornrows. They just make you feel clean, pretty, and organized. One thing I've learned is that protective styles work best when your hair underneath is moisturized properly. So ensure that even as you're doing these hairstyles, your hair was first of all moisturized because dry hair hidden in a style is still dry hair. And please remember, protective styles should never feel painfully tight. Your scalp should still feel comfortable. This was just the right amount of pain that I was feeling because, to be honest, fussy hair can be difficult. But if it is too painful, then don't go on with it. So I want to take FAQs even before you ask them. That is the frequently asked questions because I know someone is already asking, how long did this take? Honestly, with parting, braiding, struggling in between, hey, this took me quite a while. Almost 3 hours. But let's be real, doing your own hair always takes longer because you keep stopping to admire yourself or complain or sometimes even remove the whole braid. So it takes quite a while. Does cornrow hurt? Surprisingly, this hairstyle actually doesn't hurt because I tried my best not to braid too tightly. And honestly, tight hairstyles are not worth sacrificing edges for. Someone else will ask, can beginners do this? Yes, if you're a beginner, please don't feel discouraged. Cornrows honestly take a lot of practice. I have before done, even if I'm saying this was my first attempt, really, I have been doing cornrows for crocheting, especially on the back, time to time. But my first attempts were not cute. That's why I couldn't do a full hairstyle on the same. But the more you practice the movement, the easier it becomes. And can 4C hair control easily? Yes, because you can see my 4C hair is doing it. And yeah, it helps, especially if you've moisturized and you've detangled your hair. It grips really, really well for styles like this. Now, as I finished the last cornrow, I was trying my best to keep everything neat without pulling too tightly on my scalp. And finally, all 6 cornrows were done. Guys, I genuinely had to pause and admire myself for a second because why did this come out looking so cute? Like, okay, this natural hairstylist, I see you. So rate on the comments below, 1 to 10, 10 being the best. And remember, this is a self-taught natural hair warrior speaking. At this point, the vision was finally coming together. The cornrows already looked good on their own, but I still wanted that fluffy, dramatic finish. Yes, yes. So I made sure that I'm gathering all my 6 cornrows together into one braid at the end, just like that, just to make the style cleaner and easier to work with. And honestly, even before adding the Marley hair, I was already feeling myself a little, I won't lie. I love the Mali braid. It usually looks like natural hair. So I grabbed it and attached it to my hair using a hairband first. And immediately I could tell this hairstyle was about to eat. So all you need to do is carefully wrap the Mali hair around to create a big fluffy puff. Yes, that's all you need. Usually I divide it into three and then I just go around with each part of the three, just making sure that it holds the hair tightly as possible. You actually do not need pins if you've held this very, very securely, but I usually use the pins at the end, the normal bobby pins that we have. And oh my goodness, this is the moment the hairstyle fully came alive. The puff made everything look softer, fuller, prettier, and honestly, way more elegant than I imagined. I loved this. And suddenly, the funniest thing is that suddenly all the arm pain disappeared once I saw the final results. I was so happy because natural hair girls know once the hairstyle turns out cute, we forget the struggles. Immediately, you just forget. It's like you just rub everything out your brain. Hey, don't forget the earrings and just look at this, the texture, the puff, the cornrows. OMG. Everything came out together so beautifully. And what makes me the happiest is knowing I actually did this to myself. Not perfect yet. Yes, you can say that on the comment. I know it's not perfect yet. Definitely progress. And honestly, that's the fun part about learning your hair. You keep improving every single time. So, but now I need your honest opinions. Would you try this hairstyle on your fussy hair? Do you think I did a good attempt for my first serious attempt? And most importantly, did the final puff save the entire hairstyle or was I already cooking from the beginning? So if you enjoyed hanging out with me while I struggled through this hairstyle, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more natural hair content. I'm linking two videos here that you can check out. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Kisses.